Coming to you from the Indian Media Production Studios, it's Three Dogs and a Dude. Hey everybody, Tobin A. Sabato here, your host with Three Dogs and a Dude. Have another very special guest with us today, Mr. Bobby Fleming of Triple B's Express here in Wichita, Kansas. First off, welcome everybody to the show. Make sure you check us out on YouTube if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you go and follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes here on Three Dogs and a Dude. So we'll get right into it now. Our second consecutive guest that is a North High alum here in Wichita.
Yes.
Welcome to the studio, Bobby.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming on board. So Bobby's the owner of Triple B's Express. It's a transportation company here in Wichita, Kansas. Bobby, it's like it was meant to be today. 2 years ago today, it popped up in my Facebook feed. I mean, everybody lives with Facebook now, right? I mean,
Yep.
That's the only way you communicate, as we know.
That is very true.
But it popped up. I just kind of chuckled when, I knew we had this booked for today, and my Facebook memories pops up and it's showing me memories from 2 years ago. And it was a night that George Strait was here in Wichita, and we booked your party bus and took some family and friends and went down and had a great time and didn't have to worry about any of the parking stuff or any of that. It was a cold night, if I remember right, too. And it was awesome. So it's like it's meant to be today.
That's awesome. See, that's the way it works.
So Bobby, give us a little bit of background on your company and how you got into the transportation business.
So Triple B's Express, we've been around for about 8-9 years now. This company started, there was 4 of us friends who decided to go through Lent and have a contest who could not drink through Lent, which that is the worst idea ever. So don't ever do that because there's a lot of cool things happen during Lent. So during that process, I was actually not drinking, so I was giving people rides to and from the bar. And at that point, we had our cab service here in Wichita. And so basically, I just started giving rides for $25 round trip. And when I started this, there's other companies in town that will do come pick up your car and you and take you home. And all of them told me that my company would fail because of the fact that we're not charging enough. And so at that point, that was a challenge. And so we started doing the $25 round trip rides. And from there, it was just my truck and me. And then I needed more space. So I went and I purchased a 16-passenger bus. I wanted more people to move more people, to start doing concerts. And then basically from that point, we went to, I went and decided I wanted more people. So I bought a big bus. And so it just kind of just snowballed from there. So, but the main concern when we got it is trying to get people from not drinking and driving. It says right on my front of my Facebook page, I got a DUI like 15 years ago, I think, or 14 years ago. And just all of the stuff that went on with that. It was just one of those deals. I'm just trying to help people to not drink and drive and giving them good alternatives.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great service.
Yeah.
I know it's a huge problem and the ramifications. I mean, yeah, you can get pulled over and lose your license, but more importantly, you could die or you could kill somebody else.
Yeah. And obviously, since I've been in this business for so many years, I've heard so many stories. We get so many people that tell us about their, third or fourth DUI. And it's just like, when I got my DUI, I'm like, I lost a license for a year. I had to have a blow and go for a year. And I'm like, this isn't worth it. This is just stupid. And it always cracks me up when I get people that come in my car and they complain about their DUI because they did this. And, it's not fair. It's like, it's simple. If you drink and you drive, that's all on you, and that's, like you said, the ramifications is not only, can you get a ticket, lose your license, lose your job. I've had customers lose their careers over it, and it's just, it's not worth it. So
nice. That's a huge service. Awesome. So tell me a little bit more. So you started out, just giving people rides to and from the bar. Then you kind of touched on how you wanted to grow and added, the 16-passenger bus and then the bigger bus. So tell us a little bit more about all the different services that you offer today and the fleet that you've grown even from there to take care of those people's needs.
Yeah. So what we've done now is basically we still do the round trip rides, which is $25 round trip anywhere in Wichita. And then we also do like concert runs when we did you guys' concert. We do those on all of our buses. Now we currently have my small bus, and we also have a small bus. Then we have our the large 30 passenger bus. The second bus I still have that bus, and then we purchased another 25 passenger bus, and also another 30 passenger bus, and then I have two stretch limousines now. So, and one thing that I've always been proud of is everything with my company. There's other companies in town that have big backers, $1 million backers. I don't. I never have had a partner in this. It's all, basically everything I have, I purchased from making money with the company, and so that's one thing that I've always been very proud of. So, but yeah, so we do concert runs. We do a ton of wedding transfers. So we do we have brides who want us to come pick them up after the wedding and go out and do pictures and drop them off at the venue. And then we also do a lot of wedding transferring from the guests from the hotel to the church and to the venue and then back. And this actually goes back to what we originally were talking about. Is a lot of these brides are worried about their guests drinking and driving.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why they'll hire us to come out with the buses and shuttle folks back and forth. So we do a lot of those. And then you do a lot of proms and pretty much anything now that we can do, except flying people around. And I'm working on that. That's my next ventures.
You gonna get an air fleet?
Yeah, I get an air fleet.
Maybe some helicopters.
Or helicopters would be cool. Actually, helicopters would be cool for the Christmas light tours. There is a company in town that does Christmas light tours via helicopters, and that's somebody like, well, we rent a helicopter. We didn't go with you. I'm like, okay, money bags.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
So you do Christmas light tours too?
We do Christmas light tours is a large part of our business. And so, we'll start I'll start on Facebook, blowing stuff on my Facebook, doing Christmas in July, to try to get bookings for Christmas light tours. This past year we did over 145 light tours.
Wow.
Which is absolutely insane. So it was it's a lot of scheduling and a lot of, so yeah.
That's really cool. So in today's world, there's a lot of options out there in the transportation business. So what makes Triple B's different than, say, an Uber or a Lyft for those, not the parties and the events and the weddings, but for those day-to-day usage rides?
With the round trip rides, I'll actually go back a little bit. So, I was told several times that my prices were way too low. I need to jack them up. And then when Uber came into town, Uber didn't really hurt my business a lot. But it did take away the folks that are within the 2 or 3 miles radius of Old Town. Because I'm very honest with my customers. I'll tell them, I said, if it's cheaper to use Uber, then use Uber. If not, then use us. And one advantage is we have a set price. And then when Uber came in town, everybody came to me and said, dude, your prices are way too high. You gotta lower them. And I'm like,
so wait, raise them up.
Yeah.
Now lower them.
Yeah. And I told everybody, I said, no, I'm not going to do it. My prices are where they are. I'm not changing my prices. And during COVID, when my whole company, everything was shut down. I mean, I have my transportation company, I have my DJ business. Everything was shut down because nobody could do anything. So I started Ubering with my truck. So when I was doing that, I was able to actually pick up a lot of customers to bring over to the dark side to my company as well. So that was very nice. But
hopefully nobody from Uber is going to watch this.
Yeah, that's if they do, I'm so good. But it was one of those deals where, with us, we have one set price, right? We don't charge more. With Uber, basically what they do is after 1 a.m., they surge their prices. And so there's some times where, and you guys being that where you live out here, you're kind of a far distance away from Old Town. And so that's always best for us because we can charge you one price of $20. Uber is going to be, that place one way. And then when you go home at night, they might be double that price because they surge their prices. And I know that just because from experience, me driving for Uber as well. So, but Uber is They're a great company if you need to go, a mile. I've used Uber several times to go from my house up to a bar that's like 6 blocks from me. Because I'm not gonna get my people out to drive me, for no reason at all. So, but that's one downfall with Uber is that, they do surge their prices. And and obviously with my business, I've heard a lot of horror stories, Uber horror stories as well, which just really blows my mind. But, and all of our drivers have nice cars, clean cars. They're all clean cut people. So,
Yeah, we'll have to have you back on for another episode. We could probably do a whole hour on just like taxi cab confessions.
yeah, yeah. What happens in Bobby's vehicle stays in Bobby's vehicle.
So it's kind of like a little Las Vegas.
It is.
Annex. Good to know.
Yes.
Speaking of Vegas, you do airport runs too, right?
We do airport runs. Yes. No, airport runs, because the airport runs, we do charge $35 to go from your house to the airport. That's not round trip. And the reason why it's not round trip is at one point we had like 5 or 6 of them out, and I couldn't keep track of who was not paid, who was paying the back. So we just made it very simple. But if you are leaving at the airport at like say 4:30 in the morning, like majority of Wichita does, it is 45. So if you're going to get me out of bed that early in the morning, then you got to make a little bit more money on there.
But that's still better than making my wife get up or somebody's kids drive them. And nobody's friend or neighbor wants to drop you off the airport at 4:30.
Exactly. And that's what we hear about all the time. And that's what's great to hear. And, I'm able to do it. But it's a lot of fun.
Well, and that's still a fraction of what it would cost them to drive themselves there, park it in the garage and leave it there exposed. And who knows what's happening in the garage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's exactly a really good deal.
Yep.
Very cool.
So we do that, and then we also do casino runs. We do a ton of casino runs. I'm one of the preferred vendor with Kansas Star, and so if you get kicked out of Kansas Star, chances are they're going to call me to come pick you up. So, which is always we get some great stories on that. I could spend an hour on those stories.
I was going to say that might be with the episode we start with the taxi cab confessions.
Those
Bobby's Buggies confessions.
Yes, and those guys are never drunk. It
was never their fault, I'm sure.
Never their fault. They're never. I'm like, dude, you can't even talk straight. Yes, it was. You're hammered. Sit back and relax, and yeah. So,
and you have 30 minutes to get them somewhere, so you probably hear it all.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, so I have to ask, who's the most famous person you've ever had in one of your vehicles?
It was a year ago today, and it was Tobin Acevedo. Him and his family, they went to the George Strait concert. That's the best I can give you.
That's the best you can do.
That's the best I can do.
You really got to get some more celebrities in there.
Yes. So there was actually, they weren't in my limo, but I was at the Hyatt waiting. I was at the Hyatt waiting for a group to come out in a limo, and I shouldn't have started the story because I forgot the guy's name.
It's a great story, Bobby.
I knew I was going to say, once I started talking, I was going to forget the guy's name. Anyway, he walked out, and I was like, what's his bucket? I'm like, ooh, but yeah, that was it. Anyway.
Was it Harrison Ford?
No, it wasn't Harrison Ford. Who's the guy? Not John Travolta. John Travolta. It was John Travolta.
Oh, John, yeah.
That's who it was. Yeah.
So he was probably in for some aircraft training.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly who it was. Yeah.
That's something a lot of people don't realize happens in Wichita. If you've listened to our preview episode 0, I touched on the fact that Wichita is known as the air capital of the world. And a lot of these planes get built here and they leave and they never come back, except when they come back for annual maintenance and or training. And so you'll see John Travolta, Harrison Ford, back when he was still alive, Arnold Palmer would come in with his planes for maintenance. And so you never know who you're going to run into in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, that's true. You really don't.
Glad I could help you out with that story there, Bobby.
Yes. Yeah. It's the tip of my tongue. He just walked right on by me. I'm like,
You were starstruck.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I should have went asked to say, can you take a picture next to my logo on the back of my limousine? But day late, dollars short. Story of my life.
Could have asked him to sing you a song from Grease, or
I know,
maybe give you a little Pulp Fiction spot or something there. But no,
I just wanted a picture. But I was just like, why didn't you ride with me?
Missed that chance, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So you've been doing this for how many years now?
About 9 years now.
Okay,
19 years.
You've been through the ringer a few times. We've been through a pandemic, which we never thought, and who in their right mind would have seen these last 2 years coming. But what's one piece of advice that you might have for other entrepreneurs or business owners trying to grow their business in this day and age?
I I think that the best advice is if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur or if you are wanting to grow your business is just keep doing it. There's, like I discussed before, when we have the pandemic was going on, I had to do something to get my bills paid. And so Uber was the best choice for me because the fact that I know people and I kind of turned that into, and try to get more business for myself as well. But when you're an entrepreneur, when you get things, when you get boulders that get in your way, you have to, get up and get over them. And also surround yourself with good people, team, I have a team, with our BNI group that they're all, there's a group of us that, if we have problems with something, with anything, with the internet, there's making brochures, there's just dumb things that Tobin gets to help me out with all the time. Just ask, and because if you don't ask, then you don't know. And so that's would be my deal for entrepreneurs, is just do it, and make sure that when you dive into it, you're able to dive into it. Not, don't quit your job and just go out and just start trying to be an entrepreneur. Do it in baby steps, and that's how I built my business. I have with my business, I've been, like I discussed, I've been a DJ for almost 30 years now. So when I was building my business, my DJ business was helping pay majority of the bills. And the round trip rides were just something I did for fun. So, but now yeah, now it's turned a little bit more than just a hobby.
That's funny that you mentioned BNI there. It just dawned on me here sitting with you. That's how you and I met 9 years ago. Was at a BNI networking event over lunch, and 9 years later, like you said, I get calls for Bobby with his flyers, with his email campaigns, with
That's a true story.
all this stuff. But it's just making connections and building relationships and friendships.
Yeah,
and treating people right.
Yep. And what you just said right there is treating people right, and that's how I built. And the other way that I built my business right is, treat people with respect. And if you treat people with respect and you're nice to people, then things will go well for you. And also, if you're having a great time doing what you're doing, then it's not a job. To me, this is not a job. I have a blast what I do. I have a blast going out, hanging out with people, giving them rides, hearing all their stories. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing then quit doing it, because you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not happy with your customers, and they're not, if you're not happy, they're not happy. And that's what, when I hire drivers, I've had drivers in the past that, the customer will call me while they're in their car. And like, dude, he's not talking. He won't talk. And I'm like, and because they've been in my car and I won't shut up.
I was going to say, that's never a shortage when you're around, right?
Exactly. And so, you have to have great customer service. And if you don't have great customer service, hopefully you won't fail. But, that's been my deal since day one of anything that I've done. I've never had a job I didn't like. If I didn't like it, then, obviously I've been blessed with my DJ stuff. I never had to worry about, worry about having a real job. I have had several real jobs, by the way, but if I'm not, when I'm doing those jobs, then I'm having a good time doing it. If I'm not, then I'm out. There's no reason for it.
So, little off script here. You've been DJing for 100 years now.
100 years.
100 years. Like, but so what's the most commonly requested song when you're DJing say a wedding reception?
Oh, it's always like old time rock and roll. It's always, and then, and what I like to the story as far as that goes is, we've had brides before that will send us like 7 pages full of songs that we are not allowed to play.
Oh my.
And so, we'll send it back to them and said, okay, this is not going to work because, there's, when you're DJing, there's sets of songs that gets people up. We know this. We've been there. We've done that. We've done this several times.
You also know how to clear a dance floor if you need to.
We do know how to clear a dance floor if you need to as well. And so, there's certain groups of songs that gets people up. And when these brides come in and and then they say, no request from the guests. It's my music and the music. And I'm telling you that's, I can't honestly say that that's worked out once or twice. We have had also in the past people who have, mom came up to me. She said, "I'm going to prove to you that we'll have a good time with no alcohol at this dance." And I'm like, "You're crazier than who, Al?" And man, let me tell you, it was a great party. I mean, she was right. I do not recommend that. Always have alcohol at your wedding receptions because it makes our job. We can play Frank Sinatra all night long. Everybody's going to dance all night long. You know what I mean? So, there's the favorite songs I have my favorite songs, favorite sets that we do, and it works. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. Good to know. So what's next in the growth plans with Triple B's Express?
When I bought,
besides the helicopters,
besides helicopter, when I bought my first bus, I'm okay. This is it, because the problem is, like I've stated before, I don't have a big backer, so I have to pay for all my vehicles, and so obviously we don't buy brand new, $50,000 vehicles because I can't afford that. And so when I bought my first bus, we had little maintenance issues. We always have maintenance issues. That's just because we don't buy new buses. And at that point, okay, I'm done. No more buying buses. And I bought my second bus. Okay, this is absolutely done. So probably what's next is every year I tend to buy another vehicle. This year I've got a new limo, so that will take care of the vehicle this year. Next year I have a few buses that I'd like to get. Our biggest one's a 35 passenger bus that I got, and then finally now it's a very nice bus, but I think I want to go for a 50 passenger bus. And there's a few of them I've seen out there. I think Village Charters they have these ones that are, oh man, they're just so cool. They're so cool looking. So I would like to buy one of those in, next few years. But, right now we're just trying to grow. And that's, everybody asks, how's business going? Business is going great. Obviously could always be better. So yeah.
Okay. So helicopter or 50 passenger bus?
Well, one or the other.
Which one wins?
Well, so I don't know, man. A helicopter would be so much fun. Unfortunately, I probably would be up flying it all the time.
That thought scares me more than just a little.
Yeah. Let's see if I get. Do you have to get a pilot's license?
You would need a pilot's license.
DOT or pilot's license?
Yeah, well, you think the DOT is bad? Wait till you start dealing with the FAA, as I know, as a licensed drone pilot. I'm not even like the full scale pilot. I just have the drone license.
Yeah. That probably won't happen, but that'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's in the future. And what we're looking for is, we're really looking for storage spaces, a storage space for our limos to go into.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been kind of searching for all over Wichita right now, trying to figure out a place, just a garage we can store them in, so keep them out of the elements.
It's a constant battle with Kansas winters.
Yeah, it's just, it tears these limos up. And so, when I bought my first limo, we were able to keep it inside for a good 4 or 5 years. Not long, yeah, about 3 or 4 years. And so, but since then now it's outside, and now it's showing some issues that we have with it.
And that's that limo that Pepper was in for the furball promo.
Yes, that is.
So Pepper, one of the 3 dogs, was as many of you know from my previous episodes, a rescue here locally called Beauties and Beasts.
Yep. And
they do an annual fundraiser every year called Furball. And so the year after we got Pepper, I thought, well, Pepper needs to do a Facebook commercial for promoting Furball. So Bobby was kind enough to let us use his limo, the one that we were just talking about, and do a little photo shoot / video shoot with Pepper. Just really loving life in the limo. I mean, who doesn't love life in a limo? I mean, I'm pretty sure I was born to ride in a limo and have a chauffeur. Unfortunately, there's the whole bank account thing that comes along with it, and
it
details. I mean,
yeah.
But there's some cool shots. In fact, I'll for the YouTube viewers, I'll try and throw a shot or 2 up of Pepper in the limo there. And,
yeah, it was fun. That was a good time.
She calls him Uncle Bobby. So
yeah, a good time.
In fact, she really tried really, really hard to be in the studio today for this recording. Yeah, let's just say she didn't understand why she wasn't going to be in the studio.
Oh, that was very fun. Yeah, and that was and I want to go ahead and touch on that real quick. Yeah, that was for Beauties and Beasts. That was you that got me involved with them. I think about 2 or 3 years ago he called and he was like, "Okay, you're giving this donation to this company." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that." So it was
You were
yeah,
voluntold.
I was voluntold. Yeah, and that's something that we still continue doing every year. We do a lot of giveaways. But we'll usually I don't like announcing that on Facebook. It's one of the deals where we do it. It's it's untold, but
Hmm.
it's good times. But
No, it's
we love
important
giving
to
back.
it's important to give back,
Yeah,
and you know,
if you can, it is. And that's something else. If you are a young entrepreneur, wanting to get out, get out there and see what out there is available that you can give back.
mhm.
You know?
Yeah, there's always causes out there that you can support.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not giving away a limo ride, you can give some of your time.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole gamut of causes you can go out and support.
Yep.
So, Bobby, how can our listeners find you and get in touch to book their rides with you?
So it's very simple. You can go to our website, which is www.triple letter B, the letter S, express.com. So it's triplebsexpress.com, and you can click on that, and then there's a deal on our Facebook page that says request a quote, and you go on there and fill out all the information. And then we have, if you want to do an airport run, if you want to do a party bus, a birthday party, there's all sorts of options on there, and you just go through and fill out all the information. And you also can see us on Facebook under Triple B's Express as well. But yeah, and there you can just give us a call at 316-304-2771. I think I'm not sure if we were on this or not. We talked about people answering their telephones.
Yep.
And so that was, that's one thing that I've, unless you call me, early Monday morning, because I'm in meetings Monday morning, I'm always answering my phone. And that's, I'll get, we have some friends of ours like to send text messages at 3 o'clock in the morning just because they're bored. And that's why they get muted, because the fact that, well, my phone has to be on at all times. So, I always answer my phone, and it drives me crazy when I call other companies and they don't answer their phone. It's like, hey, if you're not answering your phone, you're not getting the money. So
You've got to make it easy for people to do business with you when
Mhm.
they've decided they want to go with you. You got to make it easy. In fact, I had that experience just this weekend. I saw a local eating establishment. I'm not going to mention any names. 'Cause I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Saw it on Facebook. People giving great reviews of this new-ish opened restaurant, and I wanted to try it. And I was all excited. Woke up fired up to get this, and couldn't find a phone number.
Mhm.
Couldn't find an order online to this new location. The old location I could order online, but I would have had to drive what I consider to Arkansas to get it. So I wasn't going to do that. And so I finally just said, forget it, and just went, which is rare for me. Normally I would say, forget it and order something else
Next, yeah.
that I can just next one up. And I actually talked with them a little bit about it while I was in there, and they're in the process of still ramping up and all that. So I kind of give them a little pass on that. But, while I was sitting there for 15, 20 minutes waiting on my order, I just thought to myself, I mean, you have to make it easy for people
Mhm.
to be able to get a hold of you and do business. Once they've selected you, that's the hard part. Now be there to and answer the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You have to answer the phone. If you're not answering the phone, you're not getting the money. And because and through December, my phone doesn't stop, and it's towards the very end of December, I'm just like, okay, phone, stop. No, I made that mistake. So that one time, I didn't get a phone call the whole next week, so I never say that anymore. But
Did you pay your bill?
I did. Well, that might have been an issue, but the phone is always nonstop. People calling, asking quotes, and which I love it. But having this on our website now is, man, that was a godsend. I mean, I'll get probably 15, 20 emails a day of people requesting quotes for Crystal Light tours and stuff. And luckily it's still going on now with people requesting quotes for weddings and birthday parties, and so
Very
yeah.
cool. So again, triplebsexpress.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch them on Facebook at Triple B's Express. What was that phone number again?
316-304-2771.
So when people are getting ready to go out on Sunday to watch the Chiefs, I normally dress a little more professional, but I'm still in shock,
Yes.
basically, from the last 2 minutes of that game on Sunday night. I mean,
seconds. That was ridiculous.
I wasn't sure if I was elated or died. I think I died like 4 times in the last 2 minutes of that game. If that's not the best playoff game in the history of the NFL, I don't know what is. What tops it?
Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I will readily admit when the Bills scored with 13 seconds left on the clock, I thought, man, this is how our season ends. That's terrible. And clearly, I need to learn to have a little more faith in 15. And he showed me that he really only needed 10 seconds to get us into field goal range.
Yes.
And I know my Facebook feed, I'm pretty sure 95% of the posts in my Facebook feed, even through yesterday, was Chiefs game related, or memes and pictures of it. And but if our listeners and viewers are going to be going out to watch the AFC Championship game, and then I guess they're going to do the NFC Championship afterwards. I don't know if anybody even pays attention to that, but
they won't.
That's just more party time, I think. Hopefully after the Chiefs take care of the Bengals. But make sure and hit Bobby and Triple B's Express up so you can get your ride to the bar, to your party, and then schedule them on the way back. Now, you're probably not driving during the game, I'm guessing.
No, I will not be driving during the game. And people call, they were like, okay, so they'll say, we want picked up as soon as the game is over. I said, well, good luck with that. Because now I'll be watching the game. And once we win, the whole thing, it's not going to be 45-0. And then I leave. And then Bengals come back.
And we know better than that.
When I don't leave till the very, very end. And then we will start driving.
I mean, we just learned you have to watch the final 13 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people do you think, when the Bills scored with 13 seconds to go, how many people do you think got up and headed to the exit, both at the stadium and at the bar or wherever they were watching?
I've seen that several times on Facebook where folks have said they turned it off this day. What happened? Everybody's like, what happened? It's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, we definitely were celebrating. So it was good times.
That was a treat. So yeah, if you're going out to watch the AFC Championship game, hit Bobby up. They will get you there and back safely, so you don't have to worry about that. And then in a few weeks, when hopefully the Chiefs are in the big game, I don't know if I can say that. Can I say Super Bowl? Are they going to get me in trouble for saying Super Bowl? I'm going to say it anyway. I don't care.
It happens.
I mean, if they come after little old me, then they have bigger problems, I guess. But so when the Chiefs are ready to play in that big game for the title, hopefully for the third year in a row, same thing. But plan ahead, because I'm sure you get busy as heck on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it gets crazy. It gets busy.
So, all right. Well, I would be amiss if I didn't ask you about this, as the show is titled 3 Dogs and a Dude. As you guys know, I have 3 rescue dogs that are crazy, and I heard them rumbling upstairs a little bit ago. They enjoy making a ruckus outside the studio. I think they know when the record buttons hit, and so that's kind of their cue to go a little crazy. But Bobby, tell me a little bit about your dog, because I know you have one.
I have a dog. Her name is Roxy. I call her Foxy Roxy, and she is an American Bulldog. And
so she's built just like you.
She is built just like me. Yes, and she's 14 now.
Wow.
She's an older dog. She has hip dysplasia, and man, she's just it takes her a while to get around. But there was one point where she had no desire to walk anymore, and I took her to the vet, and like, well, her back leg is shot. This is shot. We're done. And I was actually downstairs and on a conference call with BNI meeting, and I heard this. I'm like, holy crap, my dog's walking. I gotta go. And so I went upstairs, and so she's on this some powder stuff that I got for arthritis and stuff, so she can walk just fine now. She's a good dog.
Can you give me some of that? My knees are kind of bad. Maybe he'll help me out.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, I'll just take some of this myself. But she's and she was, I guess you could say she was a rescue dog, because I had 3 dogs already, and then my brother decided to bring this dog over because she was trying to kill his cats. Eat his cat. She doesn't like cats. And so he brought it over and said, here's a dog for you. I'm like, dude, don't, no. And so for about 2 weeks, there was a lot of bloodshed in my house because this dog tried to be the alpha female, and she was like attacking everybody. And I called my brother and said, you have 1 week left. And no, you can come get your dang dog, because no, I can't deal with this. But then she settled in, and so yeah, it was all good. But yeah, she is a mess, that's for sure.
Foxy Roxy.
Foxy Roxy, yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Bobby, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today and tell us a little bit more about the transportation company you have, the industry you're in, and just share some of I don't know if it's hard for me to say wisdom.
No, I don't have wisdom.
when I'm talking to my buddy Bobby. We have a good time. We have a core group of friends that like to give each other a hard time. So, but at the same time, that connection that was made almost 9 years ago, I guess, in BNI is built into a pretty solid friendship. So appreciate you.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but and thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, that's all we've got this week. So with that, peace out. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for listening to this episode of 3 Dogs and a Dude. Make sure you subscribe to 3 Dogs and a Dude at your favorite podcast outlet. Search 3 Dogs and a Dude, number 3 Dogs and a Dude at your favorite podcast outlet and give us a follow. You can also find us on the web at 3dogdude.com. That's number 3 dogdude.com. We look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, for the 3 Dogs, this is their dude signing off.